For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
You ever noticed how life has a funny way of detouring you? Like you've got a map all drawn out, the perfect route, the right turns, the timing just right. And then somehow you end up miles away from where you thought you'd be. You're sitting there, scratching your head, wondering, God, was this really part of the plan? We've all had those seasons. Times when the road feels long, the direction uncertain, and the silence from heaven a little too loud. Maybe it's a job loss. Maybe it's a broken relationship. Maybe it's a dream that didn't pan out the way you thought it would. And in those moments, it's so tempting to believe that God's plan somehow fell apart. That maybe He got distracted. Or maybe you took a wrong turn that He can't fix. But that's not who He is. When Jeremiah wrote these words, he wasn't talking to people who were living in comfort. He was writing to a nation in exile. The Israelites were in Babylon, displaced, disoriented, and probably more than a little frustrated. Their whole world had turned upside down. But right there, in the middle of their disappointment, God sends this message. I know the plans that I have for you. And that's not a statement of uncertainty. It's a declaration. God didn't say, I'm thinking about what to do with you. He said, I know. He knew exactly where they were, why they were there, and what He was going to do with it. It's a little like riding a bicycle uphill. You can't see the top. Your legs are burning and everything inside you is saying, this isn't worth it. But there's a reason for that climb. Every pedal stroke builds strength. Every breath trains endurance. The hill isn't the punishment. It's the process. And when you finally reach the top, the view, the wind, the freedom of coasting down the other side, it all makes sense. That's how God's plans often work. You might not see the purpose in the middle of it. You might not even like it. But He's not improvising. He's not making it up as He goes along. He already has the route mapped out. You're just in the part of the ride where you've got to keep your head down and pedal in faith. Sometimes the hardest thing for us as believers is to accept that prosper doesn't always mean what we think it does. God's version of prospering isn't about instant success or material gain. It's about shaping us, molding us, teaching us trust and perseverance. It's about preparing us for the destination we can't yet see. Maybe today you feel like you're stuck in the middle of nowhere spiritually, like your prayers are hitting the ceiling and falling right back down. But I promise you, you're not lost. You're not forgotten. You're just between chapters. The author hasn't stopped writing your story. And sometimes the pages that seem the most painful are the ones that set up the breakthrough. The Israelites couldn't see it while they were in Babylon, but God's plan was already unfolding. The restoration was written long before they even realized it. Just like yours is. If you've ever looked back at your life and thought, wow, if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I am today, then you've seen a glimpse of His plan in motion. What felt like failure was actually foundation. What looked like loss was actually preparation. Trust me, I've had moments like that, where I thought I'd reached the end of the line. only to realize later it was just a turn in the road. The pain, the confusion, the delay, all of it had a purpose that I couldn't see at the time. And that's what Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us of. God's plans aren't reactionary, they're redemptive. He doesn't just fix things when they go wrong. He weaves even the broken pieces into something beautiful. So when you start to doubt, when your heart gets heavy, when you feel like giving up, remember this. The same God who guided Israel through exile, who turned their sorrow into joy, who restored what was lost, is guiding you too. You might not see the map, but He does. You might not know the destination, but He does. And He's promised it's good. Here's what this means for you today. Stop trying to figure out every detail before you move. You don't need the whole blueprint. You just need to trust the builder. When life detours you, instead of asking, "Why, God?" try asking, "What are you teaching me here?" When the climb gets steep, instead of focusing on how far you have left to go, remember who's giving you the strength to keep pedaling. God's plans are not fragile. You can't mess them up by missing a turn. You might take the long way, sure, and boy, do I know how that feels. But you'll still end up exactly where He intended. Wiser, stronger, and with a testimony that speaks louder than your fear ever did. So keep riding, keep trusting, and keep believing that the path you're on, even if it feels uphill right now, is still leading somewhere good. Because He said it Himself. His plans are to give you hope, not despair, and a future, not a dead end. Thanks for joining me here today. And until next time, Abba willing, Shalom, Shalom.